Welcome to my channel, Belize from B to Z. I'm back on the property here after about 10 months since I left it in February 2025, just to finalize the financial part. So by June, I already paid off the entire lot right behind me. Just a little refresher, it's around 1,050 square meters, just about 4 miles away from the nearby ocean, out down in the countryside along just a hummingbird highway. So the next step would have been from October onwards to draw the drawings of the two houses that I intend to build here. Right behind me, there are sort of like the markers of the main house, which will be phase 2, most likely starting at the end of 2026. And then right behind that tarp tent would be sort of like two cabanas, frequently visiting families and friends from all over the world. So that would be phase 1, starting right after the holidays here, the beginning of December 2025. And then not much is going to happening in terms of the building permits being granted over the holidays. I'm waiting until the beginning of January. In the first week of January, I should also have the final plan from the architect verified based on my drawings. And then we take the next step, start building the foundation. So when I was back in Canada to get everything organized from, like I said, the financial part finalized, as well contacting a local Belizean architect who will review my professionally hand-drawn plans of the cabanas as well as of the main house. Unfortunately, these hand-drawn drawings were not accepted by the building permit committee as an accepted form of applying for building permits, redrawing the plans, adding the electrical plans as well as the plumbing plans. And then the norm is here that if you in a rural area like here, some people, expats, told me it's not necessary to have a building permit. I would not take that as for granted, because if you subletting some of the buildings commercially and you need a permit for that, the building permits will be also necessary to allow you to run a business on your private property. It's not a commercial area here, it's residential. So 1 year, they give you, once the plans are sent in, you immediately can start building with your foundation. And then you have a window of 1 year after the application to up to 5 years to start your building, up to 5 years when they need to be finalized. If you want to extend more buildings, you're better off just applying another permit afterwards, because some of the codes might change and also the regulations here in Belize. So I did it the right way, I believe. It will take a lot of stress away from myself. And I learned it from my first move from Europe to Canada 31 years ago. And I want to have learned my lesson from them, doing a little bit more research before I do another step here to Belize, calling this my retirement plan. So I'm going to walk you through again the property, because I have cleared a lot of the deadfall here. There were some interesting finds, which I'm going to show you in some pictures. But also the property has been taken care by my immediate neighbor here in the background. He has not started building as well. There is another dwelling just beside me, behind me, which is right now for sale. You can find. So I've been clearing the property for the last couple of days, still waiting to get in contact with the architect, and also ordering some of the building material for the beginning of 2026. Here is the end of the rainy season. You can see we have to build some of the drainages to get these puddles of water out of the property before we start digging in to place the foundation pads in. So this is the outline of the main house, which I'm going to start in the winter of 2026. And it's a 24 by 26 one-story house in an L-shaped with a generous porch facing towards that agricultural land, which is very seldom cultivated. Also takes a lot of the visual exposure to the driveway right behind me away. And as much as I get along with my neighbor, but he too is looking for some privacy. As you can see there, I have some stumps from a palm tree. They were cut down just 2-3 months ago. But you see, the nature here is very vicious. It wants to survive and it starts to grow again. And these stumps, they need to be dug out. Otherwise, like you see here already, that cut down tree is generating another tree just off his own stump. So that needs to be pulled out. Otherwise, if these roots generate another tree, they can grow as high as these here within the next 15 years. So you will have quite a bit of trouble fulfilling your dream house with no future problems. Also, I was cutting up a lot of those dead fallen trees. They were full of larvae of rhinoceros or Hercules bugs, huge bugs up to around 3.5, 4 inch long. And also because it's almost disintegrating wood, the termites loved it. So I cut it up. The neighbors nearby, they will use it as firewood. And you can see this avocado tree has been planted by immediate neighbor here about 2 months ago, and it looks already very, very, very healthy and possibly producing some fruits within a year or two maximum. Anyway, this is the layout, which I placed here with some stakes. And this is a little bit away from the next or the first phase that actually will start in the beginning of January, mid-January, maybe latest, with 2 cabanas side by side. I sent in the application for the permit as a 1 unit, so it doesn't complicate things. So this is a cul-de-sac at the end of the estate here that gives the possibility to have some parking lots. That too needs to be drained. There's still some puddles from the last rainy season here. I've been told that these holes were actually dug out when they were pulling out some of the fruit orchards that they had here before it was developed as an estate. And since it can rain a lot here, especially recently, it's always a good shelter to put your tools away and just get a break until there's sometimes only 10-15 minutes long lasting rain downpour can save you getting too wet. So it's a beautiful spot here. We have a lot of shady trees, healthy trees, and called averies. They bloom yellow in the beginning of the year. That will attract a lot of hummingbirds, parrots, toucans. So this is exactly what they have been looking for. It's very quiet, as you can hear. There's just a very faint sound from the highway towards Hopkins and Placencia in the background. But other than that, just the neighboring village, it is extremely quiet. You have a lot of privacy here. An access road with a non-gated entrance, roughly about half a mile away from the nearest village. I liked it because it's low maintenance. And like I mentioned in my first video, I have no intentions of running a little hobby farm. Everything grows here. Just as you throw a seed or put in a kernel in the ground, it will grow just like there is. So like I mentioned in the first video, my intention is to here retiring, doing my hobbies, my passion, diving, which is possible very nearby. And also I did the research of finding a reliable person as an architect to help me shortening or at least supporting my plan to get a building permit just in time, so I'm not wasting too much time. But you have to be patient. Like any other videos that you can find on YouTube about Belize, the first thing you have to adapt is things are working here very slowly. It's understandable. It's a small country with fewer people than other countries to similar size with way more population. So there could be the factor that they simply cannot keep up with all the load, especially during the last 2-3 years, and this year in particular, that a lot of expats from Canada and the US are looking forward to find a new existence somewhere else but in their homeland. So the applications might be just coming in on an overwhelming amount. And so I will be patient enough to wait until everybody is ready to give me the permit. Also, my title can take up to 18 months until it has been handed out to you because of the most likely same or similar reasons, just as I said before about the building permit. So I'm not impatient. I'm very enthusiastic about what my plans hopefully will fall into. And so far, I've been lucky. I did the financial part in time. I did the designing in time. There was no issue there so far. It will give you an easier way to get the building permit. The finances are secured for the first batch of building materials, so I can start with the cabanas. I will return to Canada by end of April to generate more finances to finish the first phase of the buildings, but also working on putting some money aside for the second phase, the main house. If you like this content or if you have questions, please make your comment just below the video here, and also give me a like if you like it, and subscribe if you want to learn more about my plans and the possibilities of retiring or finding a new existence here in Belize. Another website that I do recommend is signing up with expat.com. Scroll down to Belize and open an account to exchange your thoughts with other expats or learn about restrictions. There are some members on that platform who live here and obviously have the necessary knowledge and connections to the authorities to give you the updated information that some people who sporadically post on YouTube do not have. Again, stay tuned. I'm looking forward to produce more videos down the road, hopefully the beginning of January 2026, when the material will be brought in. I will record the unloading and all the troubles and fun we're going to have ahead.